Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Hey friends, and welcome back to the Language Tutor Spanish series. Have a great little lesson for you today, and this one comes from one of my friends on the Language Tutor Spanish Facebook page. One of my friends, Mary, suggested this great lesson, and this is a great little filler to beef up your conversations a little bit. So let's jump right in. We're going to be talking about how to say somebody has to do something in Spanish. Now, I covered one of these ways a long time ago in another lesson, but didn't really dedicate a lesson to this concept. So this is a really cool little lesson. All right, now let's start with the first way, the most common way, and that is to use this structure right here. Tener plus que plus infinitive. This is like a math formula. It's like a math formula. You use tener, and then you use the word que, and then you use the infinitive form of the verb, and you come out saying somebody has to do something. So let's put up a couple examples here. I have to study. That's what I have to do. It's required, it's necessary. I have to study. She has to work. They have to eat. We're going to do this in Spanish just like English, okay? We can say the pronoun if we want. I can say I or she or they. I can say that pronoun if I want, if necessary, but I'm going to use the form of have or has that goes with that pronoun, and then I'm going to use the word que. In just a minute, we'll explain that. And then I'm going to use the infinitive of the verb, to work, to eat, to study, all those things. So we're going to do this pretty much just like in English. So let's get an example down. All right, let's look at this first one. I have to study. Now, when I say the formula tener plus que plus infinitive, tener is the verb in Spanish that means to have, or someone have or has something. Okay, so we're going to use that right at the beginning. So conjugate tener with the pronoun. So in the sentence, I have, that is yo tengo. We know that. We probably learned that one already a good while back. Okay, now, the next part of the formula is the word que. Q-U-E with no accent. That's a different word. With accent, it's a different word. So after we say tengo, we're going to say que. Now, that doesn't make a lot of sense in English. We can't really translate this word back to English and have it make sense. Just know that it's got to be there. It has to be there in the formula. We have to use it. Let's see, there's another example. All right, we have to use it. So, tengo que, now I'm going to say to study. So how do I say to study? I take the verb estudiar and I just leave it alone. I don't take off that AR, nothing. I just simply say estudiar because as you know, probably by this point, when a verb has an AR, ER, or IR still on it, when we've left it on there, we have not taken it off, it means literally to do that verb. So estudiar with the AR means to study. So tengo que estudiar. So you can see I have tener, you can see I have que, and you can see I have the infinitive, estudiar. All right, let's look at that next example we talked about a minute ago. She has to work. She has to work. All right, she is ella. Now, the form of tener that goes with ella is tiene. So there's your form of tener. Next, we got to put the word que, tiene que. Now we just got to say the infinitive to work, which is trabajar. Ella tiene que trabajar. That's what she has to do. All right. The other example we talked about a minute ago is they have to eat. They is ellos or ellas. The form of tener that goes with ellos or ellas is tienen. Then you got the word que, and then you've got the infinitive comer. Ellos tienen que comer. They have to eat. And friends, that's how we do it. Okay, that's one way though. Now, there is another way to say that someone has to do something, but this has a little bit different context. Okay, what I just showed you with tener plus que plus infinitive was saying literally somebody has to do something, just like in the examples. Now we're going to use a different formula that implies the same thing, but it's more general. So we're going to use this phrase, hay, and then we're going to use que, and then the infinitive. Now, just to explain the difference, hay que is, in this structure, hay que are going to be the first two words in your sentence. So notice we don't have a pronoun here. I don't have yo or tú or nosotros or vosotros or ellos or ellas. I don't have a pronoun. So this is not specific to a person. This is more in general. Something is necessary in general. Okay, somebody has to do something in general. All right, let's look at some examples really quick. Somebody asked this question, hey, how do you get to the hotel from the airport? Okay, now, in English, we say, how do you get to the hotel from the airport? We say you a lot of times in English, especially American English. But when we say that, how do you get to the hotel from the airport? A lot of times we're not really saying you. We're using you in general. Like how does one do this? All right. It's not as common in English in America to say, how does one, we do, but we don't do it very commonly. So how do you get to the hotel from the airport? I'm asking you in general, how does one do that? Okay. Now, somebody might answer, you have to take the bus. Okay. You have to take the bus. Now, again, I'm not necessarily saying you have to take the bus. I'm just implying one in general, okay? I'm really saying this, one has to take the bus, okay? So when we're implying someone in general, not a specific person, it's just what is required in a situation, it's just what is necessary, we're going to use hay and que and the infinitive. All right, now, let's look at this example right here. You have to study a lot, okay? If you're at Yale or Harvard, you have to study a lot. That's saying that one in general has to do that if you're at that school. It's necessary. So I could say this, hay que estudiar mucho. Hay que estudiar mucho. All right, so that's how we use it, just in general. Now let's go back to that one I said a while ago. You have to take the bus. One in general has to take the bus. Hay que tomar el autobús. Hay que tomar el autobús. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of comments. There are lots of words for bus. Autobús. Sometimes they're just going to say bus. You'll have some places use camión, and there are other words. I won't even get into it. There are several words for bus, but I'm going to use autobús in this example. But this means one has to take the bus in general, okay? So let's summarize this really quick. So if you're going to be specific that someone has to do something like you have to study, I have to eat, they have to practice, you can use tener plus que plus infinitive. If it's in general, one has to do something. It's just necessary that this happens. You can use hay, que, and infinitive. All right? So, amigos, bring those into your conversation. Try to think of scenarios in life. What must one do? What do you have to do? What does your husband have to do? Your friend, your boyfriend, girlfriend, neighbor? What do they specifically have to do? Use tener plus que plus infinitive. Then think about the things in life that are just generally necessary. And this may require you to look up some new verbs, which would be a great way to learn new verbs and new material. All right. Well, amigos, join me on the Language Tutor Spanish podcast to practice on the go. Be sure to check out the languagetutor.co, our website, to get downloadable written practices and resources. And definitely check out our Teespring shop right here on the channel. Pick up a Language Tutor hoodie, or a shirt, or a mug. We'd love to see you wearing our Language Tutor attire. And hey, get on Facebook, Language Tutor Spanish. Facebook page, shoot me a picture of you wearing that or holding your coffee mug. I'd love to see it. We just appreciate the support. All right, if you want to donate, you can do that right here on the channel. Click About, and you'll see a place to donate through PayPal. We appreciate all your donations and support. We love you guys, and I wish for each one of you paz y bendiciones, peace and blessings. I'll see you soon. Hasta pronto. Friends, thanks for watching The Language Tutor. If you have a question for me, feel free to leave it in the comment section below the video. And please click subscribe and the notification bell so that you'll never miss any of our language lessons.